This is Late Night Health. This is the radio show that cares about the most important part of your life, your health. Hi, I'm Mark Alyn. During the next 2 hours, we're going to talk about everything from stress at the holiday times to vitamin D deficiency. And we'll even have, I think, some time for Daryl and I to chit-chat a little bit about holidays and what we're doing and how that's going to work. So all of that happening on this edition of Late Night Health as we truly enter the holiday season. Happy holidays, Daryl.
Thank you, and the same to you as well.
Thank you. Did you see our... I didn't send it to you.
Okay. What is it that I was supposed to see that I haven't
that you
seen
sent?
yet?
Our holiday video.
No, I've not seen our holiday video.
Okay, we have a holiday video. It is posted on LinkedIn, and it is on... I don't remember every place else. Facebook.
Okay. And we wish people a happy holiday.
We do, we do indeed.
Okay.
We do indeed. We're going to go to New York to start, upstate New York, or just a little outside of Manhattan, actually, to speak with our friend Ken Redcross, who's an internal medicine and concierge doctor. Dr. Redcross, welcome back to Late Night Health.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
We're going to talk about stress, and we were going to do this, I guess, about a month ago and talk about stress as it led up to the election, then Thanksgiving, but now we just have Hanukkah, Christmas, and anything else that people are celebrating.
Right. That's enough holidays still, Mark, to keep us stressed, so that's more than enough.
Why are holidays so stressful?
You know what, Mark, that's a great question, and it typically is the fact that there's so many expectations, right? You're getting together with your family, and you're getting together at work, and it's just so many expectations of just happiness. But we know sometimes when we get together with family, things can be a little stressful as we all come together, even though it's all coming together in love. It still is something that can be challenging when you're getting all of these personalities together. And during the holiday season, you feel kind of guilty if you're not super happy. So there's a lot of expectations that come with it each and every year.
Well, I know that getting together with family and doing things like dinner, and somebody says, well, why did you change the recipe? We've always made it this way. And there's a fight over something as silly as that, right?
You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You know, there's so much tradition that comes with it. And you're right. Anything that kind of throws you off kind of throws off a little bit of the balance for a lot of people. Also, things like Uncle Harry is saying, why did you dress that way? We don't dress that way. Aren't you a little sloppy? Whatever they say. How do we overcome these stress situations without drugs? Well, yeah, we're going to definitely make sure this is a drug-free discussion, and the best way to do it is that, you know, you need to have communication with everyone. Luckily, we're talking about family, and even at work. I mean, this sort of thing happens at work as well, but it's all about communication. We don't do that as well as we used to anymore, Mark. Now we all text each other, and, you know, that art of communication and really coming together and negotiating and agreeing has been a little more elusive than it used to be. So you have to have communication and kind of share why some of these things may be bothering our uncle there and that sort of thing. We need to all sit together and figure out how we can hammer this out together.
One of the things that surprises me is the amount of drugs that are used to combat stress. When a walk around the corner can help, taking deep breaths. We're going to be talking about homeopathic remedies in about a half hour. There are so many things you can do and stay away from big pharma. Now, you and I have talked for a long time now, over a year, off and on, about your practice and not prescribing drugs and other things like that.
No, you're right, Mark. I'm glad you brought that up because I'm very, as you know, you just mentioned, I'm very passionate about doing our best to, what I always say, stay closer to the earth as we figure out how we can combat these things. And this is even talking about the anxiety and the stress that we're all dealing with this particular season. That's why I wanted to come together today, Mark, because I wanted everyone to realize that there are some ways that we can battle the stress without drugs at all. And in fact, I wanted to create sort of a stress reduction makeover that we all can do in 15 minutes of our day and see which some of the things that I'll talk about today, which one kind of work for you out there as you listen and say, I can actually get on board with that to really reduce my stress. And once again, as you talk to me, I'm never, ever trying to take out my prescription pad. That's how I know that we're staying closer to the earth when we talk about these things.
That prescription pad can be useful.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
I mean,
when
if somebody, when the
sure.
time is right. Somebody's in a car accident, they break their leg, they need some kind of super pain reliever.
Absolutely.
They have a major concussion. I mean, I'm not a medical doctor, so I don't know what. But I don't like the side effects of a lot of these. A couple of weeks ago, I had a back issue and was given I guess it was a muscle relaxer.
Okay,
I was loopy
sure.
the next day. I mean, yes, my back felt better. I did go to sleep. I didn't have pain, but the next day I went. I couldn't function, and I won't take it again.
Difficult. Very, very challenging because it's a very slippery slope, especially when you're talking about pain meds and medications for anxieties and that sort of thing. It's a slippery slope because you're right. You're dealing with the side effect profile. And to your point, yes, there is absolutely a need for the prescription pad from some of those things. It's just that I like everyone to know that there are other alternatives in addition. Don't forget, I am Western trained, so when those needs come up and I need to pull out a prescription pad, absolutely I will. But I love to have that discussion about, is there anything else that we can consider that doesn't necessarily require medication? And you're right when you mentioned breathing and some things we'll talk about. There are some things that we can really bring into the fold before we have to necessarily go to myself or your physician to get a prescription.
Our guest is Dr. Ken Redcross. He's an MD, but he has seen the light.
Absolutely.
Right? He has gone over from the black side, the dark side. He has come over to the right side, the light side, and he is a doctor that embraces alternative therapies as well as being open about treatments for a variety of things. We're talking about stress at the holiday times. Coming up in about half hour, 20 minutes or so, Dr. Teresa Dale will be joining us. We're going to be talking to Dr. Dale about homeopathic remedies, how they work, why they work, and most importantly to me, why they work better than drugs, than Big Pharma. You had a question? You had a statement, Daryl?
No, I'm just excited that, we just don't dive right into the medicine chest each and every time as we would have 5, 10, 15,
absolutely,
even 20 years ago.
Well, as you know, I've been talking about this for 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm almost the oldest one here, but I look the oldest. Anyway, let's Dr. Ken, let's take a look at what we can do to say to Uncle Harry, buzz off in a nice way.
Right, in a very, very nice way. The first thing I would tell Dr. Harry is the first thing you may recall, I always like to talk about our diet. I always say food is medicine, Mark. And when we think about it that way, we're very cognizant and aware of what we put into our bodies. So therefore, we start to think a little bit. So the first thing that we should think about is breakfast. I like to call these breakfast boosters because, believe it or not, they help because when we are stressed or anxious, it makes our bodies more susceptible to disease and illness long term. So when you're thinking about something to start your morning, think about yogurt. Yogurt has probiotics, and I think at this point, Mark, we've all heard about how important probiotics are for our immune system. We know that those are the good bacteria that go into our gut, and most of our immune system is actually housed in the gut. So it's important to make sure you start your morning with yogurt. But there's something else a lot of people may not know. One of the better foods for your immune system are actually mushrooms. Mushrooms have been shown to increase the production of white blood cells. Oh, you and me both. So I
mean,
love
raw
it
mushrooms?
when I research.
Raw mushrooms. Our mutual friend, Dr. Christine Horner, talks
Absolutely.
about the Japanese mushrooms. Do you know Dr. Horner?
I do, and let me tell you, Dr. Horner is right on point when she talks about that, because that particular Japanese mushroom is actually called AHCC. And AHCC is one of the few supplements that actually has been shown to have the precise mix of the medicinal mushrooms that were shown in clinical trials, not only to benefit the immune system, but it also had anti-cancer properties. And because of that, it's the number one immune supplement in Japan. So Dr. Horner is right spot on with that.
What about putting mushrooms in my omelet without cheese?
That's something you can do. Exactly. Now, that's the way I talk about it for a breakfast booster in the morning. But don't forget, you're going to have to eat a decent amount of mushrooms in your omelet each and every day to be able to get as much as you can get out of a supplement such as AHCC. See, because they have their own proprietary blend, they're able to actually make sure that the right amount is delivered. And that is important because it's extremely well absorbed, Mark. And one of the things that's important with medication is that they're well absorbed because they have to get to where they're going to help. And so that's important with AHCC, for instance. And luckily, that supplement is out there. And a lot of my patients, once again, love the fact that we stay close to the earth. If it wasn't
so expensive, it would be even better. Our guest is Dr. Ken Redcross. He's been a regular on the show for the last year and a half or so. We're going to take some time out. When we come back, we will continue our discussion. Don't go away. More coming up. Join us at latenighthealth.com, latenighthealth.com, where you'll get all kinds of great information about health. Don't go away. More coming up.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. That's 800-296-1252.
Are you being audited and do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Is the IRS threatening to take more of your money? Don't fight the IRS alone. The Tax Doctor is here to help you negotiate a lower tax bill. The IRS can freeze your assets and seize your bank accounts, but you can stop these IRS actions. The Tax Doctor will fight for you using industry secrets that can stop any IRS actions, eliminate penalties and interest, and reduce your past tax bill so you pay the IRS less. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the Tax Doctor now for a free IRS audit emergency review.
800-663-5107. 800-663-5107. 800-663-5107. That's 800-663-5107.